Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Today I model a taco and try to use Mash and Bifrost for certain effects. Thank you to Mel for the idea. We start off here, making a shell, and then filling it with the necessary taco elements. Usually ground meat is in a taco. This was the first thing I used FX for. I used an end cloth and a collider and played around with the settings to get my desired look. I used a lattice to make the shapes look a bit more irregular and started placing them around the taco. I ended up reducing how much beef I put in the taco because it just seemed like way too much of an eyesore, almost like too much was happening. Another taco element I used effects on was the lettuce. Same thing as the beef, just a flatter shape, and I made the settings less harsh. Lettuce is a really irregular shape, so I thought effects would really do the trick here, and I was happy with the outcome. I did end up unwrapping some of the model. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I'd rather be safe than sorry. It was also nice to see that it was pretty easy unwrapping some of the end cloth models. Besides working on this before lunchtime, I honestly think the hardest part about this project was the fact that it was finicky with placement. I had to step away from it occasionally or take screenshots and compare previous versions just to make sure it was looking good and natural. This is where I was playing around with the beef filling and trying to find a happy medium. Something that helped me was knowing the angles this was going to be looked at. I used mash here for the distribution of the diced tomatoes or salsa chunks, which I did end up changing later on. There is a brush in the mash menu where you can paint on the geometry you have selected to get a varied look rather than a placed one. I started to dislike the tomatoes I put on the taco. They looked really cube-like, and at this point I knew I probably wasn't going to bring this into Substance Painter to fully texture it, so I switched it to tomato wedges instead. In my opinion, it made the taco look less busy. Things started to look good. I didn't think there were any empty spaces, and I thought the first pass renders were fine. Now is the part I was looking forward to. I wanted to add some sort of sauce on top of the taco, so I started looking around in Maya menus before searching on the interweb for an answer. After watching a tutorial by MH Tutorials, the modeling hub, I saw that I could use Bifrost to make a liquid waterfall down from a cube and onto my model. Essentially, what I did was use Bifrost liquid, and then I made parts of my model a collider so that the effects would know what to hit when the liquid was pouring from said point. I will leave a link to this tutorial in the description. It was very helpful. This process took me a couple of hours to finesse. It took a while because effects are powerful. I didn't record a lot of this process because it was very slow, but I'm sure by now you get the gist. After being happy with the effects liquid on top of my taco, I just added some Arnold materials to the model. The only thing I ended up giving a bit more of an in-depth surface to was the taco shell. I just found an up-close image of a taco on Google and used Crazy Bump to make a normal map. Yes, I still use Crazy Bump. Now I got to light my model. I just used my standard 3-point light system, but with some fun colors. Using general daytime lights made my model look boring and just bad. I wanted it to look a bit more eccentric, hence the fun colors. Just to add a bit more, I ended up adding those fireflies around my model. I'm not sure why, but sometimes they just make the model look more alive. I also wanted to use the bloom effect to make the fireflies pop. I found out using the bloom also affected the taco sauce a bit, so I had to render the layer with the fireflies separately. I couldn't figure out how to only make the bloom affect certain geometry. That about does it for this video. This by no means is a portfolio piece, but more of an experiment. I now have a few other ideas that I want to pursue with Mash. They are simple, but I think they will be useful in the long run, so keep your eyes peeled for those. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. I should just slap a Taco Bell logo on this and slogan it. We don't even know.